Hello and welcome to the Duna Diaries. Thank you very much for joining me on this podcast. If you're listening to me on Spotify or Apple Podcast, or if you're watching this on YouTube, thank you very much as well. You know, if you've known me even for an hour or let's call it for years, you know one thing very sure about me, and that is I'm quite the chatty person. That comes really from my personality, and my personality is an ENFJ, extroverted. Oh my God, I kind of forgot what that means, but people with ENFJ are warm, outgoing, loyal, and sensitive. That just sounds like I blew my own trumpet. Amazing. Now, so what I meant is I like to talk. And when it came to making content, I wanted to move forward in a new direction. And some of my friends actually told me to start with a podcast. So here we are. And I love you all. Thank you very much for joining me on this. And let's dive into it, shall we? Today, I'm quite interested in talking about on being human, and specifically our need to connect and to be together, because as such, over the past months, because of the Panda word, I'm not going to call it the pandemic, but I'm just going to call it the Panda word from here on, because let's give it a shot. So, over the past few months, I've been feeling as if COVID only hit me after a year later. Although the pandemic, the Panda word started. All right. I'll just make it simpler. Over the past year, I felt okay, I guess, but only about a month ago, it almost felt like COVID hit me real strong. It almost felt like I was away from everybody, and things started to just feel like I had no control over them. So my understanding of all of the situation now that it's been a month and I've kind of started to cope with it, it's as if, human beings are social animals and we feel the need to belong. And as such, I have tried a lot to connect with a lot of my friends who have been close to me, and I'm quite happy that they've always been there for me. But as such, when all of this started, I was quite fine. But over the past months, I started to feel this dejected feeling as if I was going away from everything. So here I am starting over with all my content, with all my projects, with my life back again coming to track. I mean, that's the least we can do, isn't it? So keep pushing through and whatnot. So my state of mind has been quite lazy over the past some time. Unlike what people think of me, I really am a lazy person. In fact, this podcast was supposed to be recorded about a week ago. And here we are on a wonderful Friday afternoon trying to record this beautiful message or this beautiful podcast. It takes me quite a while to push myself through that laziness. It's like a cobweb that a spider puts you through and you're trying to jump out of it. My state of mind has always thought of progressing and eventually trying to curb my laziness. And, that I kind of do in terms of physically manifesting it over my physical space that I'm working with. So that generally starts by cleaning around. So my way of opening and starting is to do more with physically cleaning up my entire room, maybe for that matter, or cleaning up my documents on my laptop. And eventually that clarity automatically brings a clarity in my mind, which is the kind of manifestation that these physical attributes do to me. And eventually I see myself actually picking up on my day-to-day tasks or the kind of plans or the projects that I'm working on. Nonetheless, this is a kind of physical manifestation of the kind of ideas that I have in my mind to put through to action very often. Over the past months, because of the Panda word, it has been quite challenging, but I've been getting there. It's quite challenging. And this has led me to change my approach on my life. I've spoken to a lot of my friends over the past months over how this entire thing has been for them and for me and for all of us across the globe who are going through the Panda word. Now, for me, to do everything in the best way possible has been my kind of a thing, because I always try. I'm kind of a person who looks for details in everything and wants to do the best that I can. When I can't, it kind of makes me feel sad. My changed approach of life has been progress over perfection, as to understanding what little I can do to improve my stature at a given point, and then eventually taking over all the tasks and responsibilities that I have to do. Not the fact that I have to be best at whatever I'm doing, but at least beginning, because if you keep planning what you have to do in the best way possible, because this is exactly what I used to do even in case of this podcast or my videos before. And I know it's been months when my first video came out all the way back last year. Look, I have tried to slowly build myself and try to change the way I wanted to deliver the content that I'm making. And with this changed approach, I'm taking life as it comes, as day and on a basis of day-to-day progression. And I'm keeping the idea of perfection away, because perfection kind of makes it boring, to be honest. A progress stated approach actually makes it look like you're making significant changes or you're evolving on a day-to-day basis. The kind of feeling that I have on being human is that it's always about those one or two good habits that define us, that shape us in times of adversities. And I really saw myself going through all of that, especially in the past month when COVID literally hit me. And the Panda word became a big thing for me at that particular point. Although, especially, in all honesty, things were starting to open up and we were quite open to, let's call it meet and work together and stuff like that. But I think it was definitely at that time that I actually felt like things were happening around the world in terms of the Panda word. But here we are. And it's all thanks to the human resilience. We as species, as human beings, have been through so much. But the one thing that unites all of us is the human resilience that is instated in all of our blood. We are transforming and we are evolving, each and every one of us. And creating a difference in each other's life is what constitutes to being grateful for, or constitutes to being joyful at that point, if I'm putting this forward very well. Honestly speaking, what I learned from the whole Panda feeling is to not feel guilty of the feeling that you're going through. As such, it's a part of being human, and it's a part of the human condition that we are all going through. As a matter of fact, many of us have gone through this, and I'm not the only one, and you're not the only one either. So if you ever felt about all of this over the past months, or if you're feeling this now, be sure that great things are on their way. And I'm very sure, I kind of have this feeling over the past months that something amazing is coming and something amazing is going to happen to all of us. Things are going to change. Life's going to get a whole lot better. But let's not forget of what is with us today and take life as in what it comes day by day. And at the same time, be grateful for little things that happen from time to time in our lives. These are the little things that make so much and make a huge impact on how we feel and who we are. The times are testing the best of what we as humans are, but as much as I understand from the human resilience, we're amazing as species and we'll get through this. On a concluding note, I would like to thank each and every one of you for being here, listening to me, and just being here, actually. Thank you very much for joining me on this podcast. And new stuff, new content is coming soon. So stay tuned for more. Subscribe and follow wherever you can. It's the Duna Diaries. I'm Anirudh and hope to see you soon. Have a great day and great things are coming. Keep an eye out.